What's up, my fam? And today we are about to get into another reaction reaction. I like that sound. I love the sound of that. Reaction bro reaction. Yeah, I'm done. But today's reaction is counting down the 10 shocking movie mistakes that got history completely wrong, because we see cartoon movies and they shock us because some of them are love stories, some of them are funny, and some of them are very historically wrong. And we're counting down the top 10 that got it all wrong, but they kept it PG for the children, so let's get down to it.
Say that history can be stranger than fiction, so it's no wonder so many hit movies head to the past for their characters and drama. But no matter how much modern filmmakers may try to stay faithful to their sources, some incredible mistakes, changes, or downright insane inaccuracies always slip through. Here are 10 famous movies that got history wrong. Pocahontas.
Oh,
the songs are as classic as in any Disney
high
hit,
school.
but the story of Pocahontas and John Smith's romance is where this
Wasn't she
story
like 11?
departs from history. Mainly because the Native American girl in question was 10 years old when John Smith arrived in the New World. Thankfully, there was no actual romance between them, just friendship.
10-year-old and whatever age that dude is.
Disney's
Yeah,
decision
that's
to
not
turn
a
it
good
into a love story
Disney movie.
kinda weird.
I'm in.
Gladiator. The Roman epic actually did a good job of portraying the idea of ancient Rome, but made its biggest mistake in casting the villain as a helpless, weak emperor. The real Commodus was so insane a ruler that he kinda deserved to be the star, renaming himself as the new Hercules, renaming Rome after himself, renaming each of the months of the year to his own names. Commodus even took to the gladiator arena himself, killing countless exotic animals, battling other slaves, and clubbing the poor to death. The crowds were stunned and confused, obviously, but it was the fact that he paid himself from Rome's treasury that appeared to have led to his assassination.
Damn.
And not by a proud gladiator either, but a wrestler during a bath. Titanic.
Really?
Most
The Titanic?
audiences knew that the movie version of Titanic
part,
sinking was as much fiction as fact. But when it came to First Officer William Murdoch, director James Cameron's decision to show him shooting passengers, then himself, courted controversy. Cameron claimed it wasn't an act of cowardice, but taking blame for the crash. Except testimony and inquiries never determined who was truly at fault. And just as many people view Murdoch as a naval hero, his family protested the film with good reason, showing how dangerous it can be to tell fictional stories about actual people. Argo.
Damn,
Ben
that
Affleck's
was
story
deep.
of a fake movie crew infiltrating Iran to rescue Americans won him an Oscar, and some critics north of America's border. When the movie released, giving the CIA all the credit, President Jimmy Carter came forward to clarify that 90% of the idea and planning came from Canadian intelligence. Affleck's character Tony Mendez still got the hostages out, but the Canadian caper, as it was later called, wasn't the CIA masterpiece the movie implied. Django
I love
Unchained.
Django.
As over the top as the movie got, Quentin Tarantino made sure that audiences would find the scenes of slaves being forced to fight to the death were as horrifying as they really had been. Except that they probably never happened. Tarantino named the movie Mandingo as one of his favorites, but no American historians have found any proof that slave owners ever engaged in the practice, since it doesn't even make economic sense in the larger slave trade. We guess that's good news, since it was all pretty terrible.
Yeah, that
Pirates
was
of the Caribbean.
pretty
Being rich
brutal.
in the 1800s really was the life. And for Elizabeth Swann, it even meant red-hot coals are slid into bed with her to heat her feet as she slept. In reality, though, bed warmers were filled with warm, not
is that
hot
a bed
coals,
warmer
and were
trick?
only used to, well, warm the bed before the sleeper got into it.
I knew it.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Every fan of Indiana Jones remembers his standoff with Nazi soldiers, threatening to blow up the Ark with a bazooka over his shoulder. But when you realize that the movie is set in 1936, and Germany was still years away from designing the first rudimentary anti-tank rocket launchers, it would be just as historically accurate if Indy was holding a ray gun. Sherlock Holmes. Guns are the culprit yet again, but it's the small detail here that baffles us. In the opening sequence, the police can be seen arming up with pistols and shotguns. Shotguns loaded with plastic shotgun shells. Since the guns of the era would have used brass shells and plastic ones weren't invented until 1960, this mistake seems like an almost impossible one to make.
Bravo, Inspector. Have a cigar.
Really?
Mulan.
Mulan?
Disney got off the hook by
I love
setting
the
their
movie.
story centuries in the past
Childhood.
and thousands of
Childhood
miles from
memories.
their usual locales. But the historical mistakes followed. Not only is the writing Mulan paints on her arms simplified Chinese, created and implemented in 1950, but the parts of the Great Wall of China featured in the movie weren't built until the 1300s. when the other medieval Disney princesses were being kissed by Prince Charming.
Probably me.
The Revenant. There are plenty of little anachronisms to point out in the movie, from zippers to American accents and even wild boars roaming the wilderness when they weren't brought to North America until the turn of the 20th century. But our favorite by far is the idea that a hunter could be mauled by a bear in the dead of winter, when nearly all North American bears are hibernating.
Really?
Those are just a few of our favorite historical inaccuracies in hit movies, but there are plenty more where that came from. Let us know which ones we've missed, and remember to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.
Oh guys, that was the top 10 movie mistakes that they just changed history. Most shocking one was probably fun. It was funny, and then actually makes more sense. The Mulan one, they had never built the Great Wall during that time, and because of the Mongols. But actually was pretty interesting. You get to learn a little bit here, don't you? No, I got something cool to say to my friends. Yeah, pretty cool guy right here. Guess what? Yeah, the Great Wall in Milan shouldn't be there. But what did you guys think about this top 10 movie shockings? Did you guys get shocked? Did you guys think of another one? Put it down in the comments below. And if you guys want to see more of me, hit the subscribe button as well. And I hope I'll react with you guys next time on Reaction Bro. So like always, peace out.